Hello, today I want to talk about all my what I call tier 2 types of zombies. But first we're going to talk about the new Foot Ninja that I've got my hands off, which is from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Time Crash expansion, and how he works, because he actually is more of a walker than he is what I call a special zombie. So first of all, he can be defeated by a 1 damage weapon. And he only moves once every time he activates. But what makes him special is that if there is an object on the field, like this, let's say there are 4 or 5, whenever you draw one of their cards, they will spawn directly on the object marker. Which I think makes them a really interesting foil for not just coming from the same side as always. So I quite like them. I haven't played as much with them as I hope to, because as always expansion zombies we don't get a lot of spawn cards for them, but I think it's a really interesting way to take it. Literally guarding objects or hopping inside buildings. Of course these are mainly made for the White Death version of the game, so if you spawn them inside buildings that are closed doors, because there's no closed doors in White Death, I usually just leave them where they spawn until a door is open and they can move out or attack a player. So yeah, I actually have found myself using them a little bit, but they're not the best. They are a little weird compared to use in the older materials. But yeah, protecting objects so you just cannot just bull rush them is a really funny idea, and this is what I hope to see with special zombies, that they focus on what the player normally would try to do. So after this, let's talk about the special zombie, and there's 2 types of zombies we're going to talk about. First we're going to talk about the runners, because these are the ones I have the most of. And then we're going to talk about the brutes, or as they were usually called, the fatties, because they are a little bit more bulky than the walkers. Now, the runners. What makes the runner special is that instead of moving once, they can move twice, meaning that they will try to get ahead of all the packs and get to the players very quickly, making players need to either run away from them or deal with them first. If they're like, say, standing right here, they will move up and then bite. So I think it's a really good idea, and I really like that they are basically one of the base zombies, giving the idea that there are some zombies that just running towards you. Now they also dealt with 1 damage, and of course in Green Horde we got the goblin version of them, and the only thing I don't like about it is when they're just standing on your table, they look a lot like your walkers, so sometimes you don't see them as runners. Unlike the other one I had here, where you can see it's a lot thinner and moving forward. This one is just standing inside its base plate. But this one actually just works like a normal runner, unlike everything else in the Green Horde that deal more damage. But it makes sense, because if a runner gets to you, because see if I can get it to focus. Get to you, it can deal a lot of damage. And speaking of that, in Wolfenburg, we actually got the wolf, which is even more dangerous, because instead of just moving activate once, it activates 3 times. Attack, or bang bang bang. So it has a really fast way to run down the players, especially in the early game where we only have 3 actions. So let's say that it starts like this and you move 3, it will be right up you. So you have to deal with either by going in and fighting it, or keep trying to run away from it. So it's probably my favorite of the runner type zombies, because it is so much different, and I usually always place with them because of that. The third one is the one from White Death, but it's actually completely like the 2 other ones we just talked about. except that it is designed to be more armored and actually have a little grayer color than compared to the walker counterpart, making them easier to spot. So I think that the creative team actually realized the problem with them and decided to make them a little darker, so we had an easier time to see them, the difference from them and the other walkers. And I really like that. And the very last runner I forgot about him, is the Rat's Pack. And this one is actually what I consider the hardest zombie, regular zombie that I own, simply because how unpredictable it is. So in Zombicide there are these things called zombie activation cards. Let's see if we can find one like this one, that state that when you draw this, instead of spawning zombies, you will activate whatever standing on it. Like in this case it would be all standards water. But with the rats, they completely changed that dynamic. First of all, they can move two spaces, but they cannot turn. So if they activate and does like this, they will stop their action. Instead, and if they stand like that, it will walk up. So it only have technically one action, but it can move up to two. It can only move in a straight line, and it will bite if you get to it. So what makes it so dangerous is actually that every time you draw one of these spawn rat cards, they will activate. So let's say that the rat is standing right here. It gets the zombie activation phase, it will move up, and you draw one of them. So not only will you spawn some zombies, but this one will also activate and attack the players. So I think these are probably the ones I play the least with, because I think they have caused me most losses just out of nowhere. But that's also why I think they are so interesting. The very idea of changing the different mechanic of how the work is what I really like about all the expansions for Zombicide. Now these are from No Rest for the Wicked, which is an expansion solely focused on zombies. And you will see that at some point too, where I talk about I already talked about the specters, and I will talk about the biggest dragon in the set too. But these little guys actually I thought would be some of the most easier one, but because they are so aggressively sometimes, and you can be really lucky that, let's say that you draw like 2 in a row, you can see suddenly the rats are on top of you, which is why I think that they made the rule of they cannot turn. So Swarm of Rat is probably the most dangerous runner. That or the wolf. The wolf is also really dangerous, but you normally see them coming. Now let's talk about the brutes, or whatever people calls them now. These are what I call have to be dealt with a weapon that do 2 damage or more. And despite after that, they normally it just works like normal zombies. So but in the start you don't have weapons that do 2 damage. Maybe one, maybe if you have more expansion you maybe play with 2 of them, making them actually really dangerous. But also what makes them especially dangerous is that they have higher priority than runners. So if you have a ranged character like this that only have a damage 1 weapon, you cannot hit the runner. You have to hit this one first. And when we came to White Death, they also get priority over the walker types. So you will have to deal with those before you could do anything on the map in short of range, which of course come with a lot of problematic things, because well, they will be acting as the meat shield in front of everything that comes towards you. And I think they have the highest priority now, together with the A-bombs, but we'll get to them at some point. Now after that they only deal 1 damage, and so does its White Death counterpart. But the only difference is this is a lot more armored, made to symbolize that the zombies has become more armored too in this war against the zombies. And yeah, while they don't have so many variety as I have of all the other zombies, there are some, like this one from Green Horde, which when I first started out, I started with Green Horde, so I was like, see if I can get it to focus. I started with Green Horde, making me think that brutes were absolutely the most dangerous one, because these guys do 3 damage, meaning a player only have 3 lives. So if this just hits you once, that player will be eliminated. And it speaks to the idea that brutes are these more stronger of the zombies. And I absolutely find that concept interesting, that there are these one-shot zombies on the field, especially because Green Horde has this mechanic called Horde, where suddenly an entire horde of them spawning. And if you're playing by the Horde ruling, these guys will actually be standing behind the walkers in the target priority, which I will explain at some point too. Meaning either you have to dive in and hope you can eliminate every zombie to get them away, or have your range character eliminate the front line before you can eliminate this one. Now, then we come to Eternal Empire, where we again got a different brute. Now, this only do 1 damage, and it can only move once. So, but this one's changed the game completely. And personally, I don't know what to say about it more than I have mixed feeling about it. I like the idea that there are zombies that makes you have to play differently. But the ruling about it makes it really hard to play in the older game types. So what do they do? Well, when one of these are on the field, zombies can only be eliminated by key attack. And let's see, key attack, it's something that they introduced in Eternal Empire to refresh, to still continues to evolve on the idea of how the game works. And I can see if I can find one. This looks like there's someone here. Yeah, here's one. Key attacks is when you either use your skill on to activate a skill, something on your character, or a weapon has this symbol on it. Like this one gives +3 to your +3 dices, making this a key attack weapon, making it able to eliminate zombies. But you can only use this skill once per turn, meaning if you misses, you can actually be in a situation where you doesn't eliminate any zombies for an entire turn, which kind of make it hard to play with the older characters, unless you want to play with the chi skill, but I will make an entire video about chi instead. But I think it's actually a good idea for the expansion, if I should say that like that, to make it like this, because it's a more self-contained. You don't normally play with them outside the expansions, and normally only play with the character from Eternal Empire or White Death, or now with the turtles I can also do it, because they have turtle powers. This is basically chi power, but it's the same thing. But to be honest, locking down defeating zombies behind a certain mechanic that not every character can use, unless you use this chi skill or chi equipment deck, makes customizing equipment deck and having characters a lot more difficult for someone who pretty much use more time on customizing the zombie deck and equipment deck just to fit what I really like to play with. And yeah, so I think he probably is my least favorite, even though these are just pretty much regulars. These ones are pretty much regular brutes. This one's I glad it exists, and I'm really think it's a cool one. But I just think that they really work best as standing in front of the zombies and making it so that you have to get through those to get to the actually fast zombies or dangerous zombies or anything else. So I have actually long time played with the White Death ruling with you have to eliminate brutes before you can hit anything behind them, just because I think it makes it a lot more interesting, and it also makes it a lot more dangerous, especially with these two guys here. the wolf and the rats, which I just talked about. Because if these are standing right here, you have pretty much nothing to do and run if you cannot eliminate those two. Because if you go in and eliminate those two in melee, but doesn't eliminate those two, this one will hit you 3 times and this one will hit you 2 times. Or more if you're unlucky with your drawing of zombie cards. So yeah, this was all the different kinds of what I call tier 2 zombies plus the Foot Clan zombie. But and I always place with some amount of variety of them. Of course, there are the basic ones that is in all of them, but these two I love to customize how much I play with them. And I'm especially going to play a lot more with the Foot Ninja in the future. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this and have a nice day. Bye.